And good morning, world. It's 20 past 9 in the morning on 6th of May 2014. And last night I was looking on the web, I was looking for an online telescope at some live feed from Uranus. And I thought, great, there's my subject for tomorrow's video. Uranus, the planet of change. But what about the astronomy of Uranus? What actually is the alleged planet Uranus? Well, you have to define a planet first of all, because it appears that Uranus either has nothing solid in it, or if it does have a core, that it's really cold rock and it's about a quarter the size of Earth. And yet, when you look at Uranus through a telescope, you can see that it's maybe sort of 80 times the size of Earth altogether. It's about 15 times the Earth diameter. Uranus doesn't really have climate. It's surrounded by clouds of blue, electrical blue, methane. Every so often Uranus does give off microwave energy, but what's really unusual about Uranus compared to most other planets is that it doesn't give out any heat. For example, Jupiter gives out nearly 3.5 times as much heat and light as it takes in from the sun. Neptune puts out 2.25 times as much heat and light as it takes in from the sun. Uranus doesn't put out any more light and heat than it takes in from the sun. There's no heat coming from Uranus. So that either says that it's a cold, sterile planet, or that there's something in its troposphere or atmosphere that's keeping the heat in, that's being radiated by the core, and I suspect that's more likely. What else is really, really unusual about Uranus is that unlike any other planet, all the other planets are like that. The poles are facing north-south. Uranus isn't. Uranus is like that. Uranus's poles are on the equator. Translate that into English. What it means is that all the other planets go like this. Okay? They go round on their axis. They spin round on their axis. Uranus doesn't. Uranus goes like that. It rotates on its horizontal axis. So, Uranus has an 84-year orbit. That means that for 42 of the years, the northern hemisphere gets sunlight, and for the other 42 years, the southern hemisphere gets sunlight. Everything about Uranus is different. Everything about Uranus stands for the fact that it's eclectic, unusual, and different compared to all of its planetary neighbours. The reason it got called Uranus in the first place was after a chap called Bode, B-O-D-E, who's famous for Bode's law. And he pointed out, well, look, Saturn is the father of Jupiter, and Uranus is the father of Saturn in mythology, and Uranus is the next one out, so let's call it Uranus. And eventually, everyone agreed, so Uranus it became. But what do we know about Uranus? We know that it's different to any other planet. We know that it gives out this anonymous white, blue electric light and nothing else. And yet, there's something different about it. But it spins on its axis, but it gives out this really strange microwave radiation, which is not hot. What does that say about the nature of Uranus? It says that Uranus is different. And Uranus has always been different. It's the most innovative. It was invented, it was discovered at the time of the invention of electricity, and it was discovered at the very beginning of the Industrial Revolution. So straight away, Uranus rules modernity, novelty. And because when it was discovered, it was the time of the American and French Revolution, it's naturally associated with all forms of revolution, not necessarily violent, but also social and cultural. So Uranus is a planet that's associated with humanitarian and progressive ideas. It's about freedom and originality in society. It's about independence and liberty. And it's I do find it common at a... I have to be careful what I say here, otherwise I will get sued by the British Medical Council. Nevertheless, a strong Uranus in one's horoscope is an indicator of a lot of problems with the sympathetic nervous system, spasms and cramps, electrical spasms. Old astrologers would say that Uranus is the planet of mental disorder and hysteria and breakdown. I go, rubbish. But Uranus is associated with novelty, with stimulus, with change, innovation, originality, and the future. If you have a strong Uranus in your chart, then convention, orthodoxy, and normality need not apply. If you have a strong Uranus, you are not boring. Uranus the planet of change. It's always going to be there, folks. Stay flexible, because without change, entropy leads to quick mortality. Catch you later. Bye.